Okay, this video is all about rhythm. You're going to learn some strumming techniques, how to play in time, how rhythm is notated, and you're going to develop some really solid skills to just kind of bring your rhythm playing to the next level. That's going to help you play with other musicians, and maybe if you would like to sing and play guitar at the same time, I'm going to give you some techniques to help you link up your voice with your guitar. Okay, so let's start off with some strumming techniques. So I like to use a pick, so I'm going to start with that, but I'll also teach you some ways that you can play finger style, okay? So I have a three-corner pick here that I hold in my hand just like this, between my thumb and my index finger, so that the pointy part is facing down like that, okay? And what we want to do is we want to have the motion come mostly from our wrists, okay? Imagine if your hand was wet and you're just kind of flicking off some water. That's the motion, okay? Rather than coming from your elbow, all right, it's a wrist motion, okay? And what we aim to do is to strike all 6 strings at the same time without hitting the wood, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of mute my strings like that, which you can do if you like by just fanning out your fingers very lightly, just barely touching the strings. Okay, or you can maybe choose a chord that you're working on that you'd like to kind of clean up a little bit. Okay, it's up to you, but I want the focus to mainly be on our strumming. Okay, so a down strum with a pick is going to look and sound just like this. Okay, you want to strike all 6 strings at the same time with a downward flick of the wrist motion. Okay, and then the up strum is going to come in the opposite direction, like that. So I found a lot of people have a hard time sometimes with the up strum because they can't quite get all 6 strings, and that's okay if you can't. Over time you're going to develop this, and you'll get there. So if you notice, I just rotate my wrists a little bit when I do that up strum to try to get as many strings as I can. Okay, so we have a down strum and an up strum. All right, and if you don't like to use a pick, or maybe if you'd like to learn a little bit of finger style and get used to playing with your fingers, instead of strumming down with a pick, you can strum down with your thumb. Just straighten out your thumb like this. Same kind of motion. Again, coming from the wrist here. And trying to get all 6 strings. And then for your up strum, we have some different options. You could use just the index finger, or maybe a combination of. All right, so you have a down and an up. And then one more option. This would be maybe closer to a flamenco style, although I don't pretend to be a flamenco guitar player at all. But if you wanted just a brighter sound, you could use some nails. Okay, so we're just going to reverse what we just learned. Your down strum is going to be with the fingernail of your first finger. Again, or a combination. You could use a couple fingers if you like. And then your up strum is going to be with your the nail of your thumb, okay, like that. So you can hear you get a much brighter sound than just the flesh, okay. So you'll have a down, up. So the first step to developing our strumming and developing good rhythm is to be able to play on the beat. Okay, so the beat is your steady pulse in a song. It's like the heartbeat that just kind of glues everything else together. Okay, it's your one constant thing that everybody can kind of latch onto and kind of bob their head to, right? So what we're going to try to do is strum our guitar and match the beat. Okay, sounds simple, right? Sometimes easier said than done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give us a very steady beat, okay, using this thing called a metronome. All right, so I like to go old school. This is a quartz metronome and nothing digital about this, and it's just going to give us a very reliable beat. Okay, I've got it set to 60 beats per minute, which, as you know, is the same as the ticking of a clock, and I think is a good place to start. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to set the metronome up. I'm going to give us a 4 count, and we're going to strum all down strums with this metronome. Okay, do the best you can. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. with my thumb, my finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. All right, how'd you do? It can be hard, right? To get that right on the beat can be hard to do, but we need to start there. Okay. So the next thing is we're going to learn how to notate these rhythms. Okay. So my simple definition of music is just organized sound. Okay, it's what makes it different from noise. Even though we can have noise in music and it can be fun, but we need a way to kind of communicate music with other people, right? So our beats, we organize those into things called bars, and a bar is just like a little block of time, okay? And usually in the majority of songs that we listen to, we're going to be putting 4 beats to each bar, okay? So the first note that I'm going to show you up on the screen is going to be a whole note. A whole note looks like this, and it's going to ring for 4 beats, okay? So you can also see that I have these little boots on the screen that show you where the beat is. It's it's when you tap your foot or stomp your foot to music, right? Those are our down beats, okay? And there are 4 of them, all right? So for a whole note, all we do is we want to strike the strings on beat 1, and we're going to let whatever chord or whatever sound we're making, we're going to let that ring all the way through all 4 beats, okay? And the game is, we're going to do that a few times, okay? So you just want to hit the strings on beat 1. That's it. That'll give you a whole note. Let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Okay, so after whole notes, we have half notes. All right, so if you look at half notes, it's like we took a whole note and we just drew a line on it. So the circle-looking thing we call the head of the note, and the line is called the stem. Okay, so half notes, you can see we have sort of a hollow head and a stem attached to it, and each of these half note strums are going to get 2 beats. Okay, so you can see the green arrows pointing down tell you to strum down, and you're going to get 2 beats per strum. All right, so let's try this out. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. Okay, so up next is quarter notes. So we already did quarter notes, actually. We did quarter notes when we just matched the beat, okay? But just so you get the visual of everything, this is what quarter notes look like. You have a colored in black head and a stem, okay? And we get 4 quarter notes for a whole bar, okay? I'm going to encourage you at this point to maybe start trying to tap your foot as you strum along, okay? This is just going to get the whole rhythm thing in your body more, and it's going to just help solidify everything, okay? So let's try some quarter notes now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Thumb. Fingers. Nice. Okay. Up next, we have eighth notes. Now, eighth notes, you're going to have a stem, a colored in head, and a little thing called a flag. So kind of the basic general rule in musical notation is the more stuff that's on the head, the shorter that note's going to be. Okay, so eighth notes are going to be, they're going to sound faster. But remember, our tempo is staying very true at 60, okay? So even though we're playing faster, that tempo is anchoring us and keeping us on the beat, Okay, so eighth notes, there's a couple different ways that, that we can play eighth notes and a couple different ways that we can write them out. We can write them out with just the flags, or in the next example you'll see we can tie these together in little pairs, okay? So for this next one, we're going to play eighth notes as all down strums, okay? This is like a rock and roll kind of, maybe Chuck Berry type of rhythm, okay? So let's do this. Eighth notes, you're going to count these as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay? So now if you're a singer, and you want to be able to sing and play at the same time, I'm going to really encourage you to actually speak aloud these rhythms with me. Okay, it's going to start connecting your voice with your strumming. Okay, it's like the most boring song in the world. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, but it's going to make you better. So stick with it. Here we go. Eighth notes. I'll give us a 4 count. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and nice and even. Okay, I'll try it with my thumb. All downs, and with my fingers. Good. All right. Thanks for hanging in there. We're almost there. The last one is going to be eighth notes played as down, up strums. Okay? So going back to tapping our foot, here's something else that can help you. Imagine that your hand is tied to your foot. And when you strum up, that's when your foot comes up. It's like you're pulling your foot off the ground. Okay? And then when you strum down, your foot hits the ground, okay? So foot down, strum down. Foot up, strum up, okay? And this is going to be our general rule for pick direction. If you can kind of really lock this in and make this become very natural and second nature to you, as you play more complex rhythms, your whole technique and your whole just understanding is going to be so much better if you do this, okay? So here we go, eighth notes. As you see here, they're beamed in nice little pairs, okay? And we sometimes do that. Just it just looks nicer. So here we go, eighth notes, down, up, and if you can tap your foot and strum and say 1 and 1 and or 1 and 2 and with me, that's awesome. I know it's like, it's worse than tapping your head and rubbing your belly, right? It's doing 3, 4 things at once. But that's music. Okay, here we go. Eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. And I'm going to try it with my fingers now. Okay, let's go. That's thumb, and I'm coming up with my index. Okay, then I'll try the other way I showed you with my fingernails. You can tell I don't do that one too often. Back to the pick. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Awesome. Good. Great. Okay. Thank you so much for sticking with me through all of that. I know it's you know, I'm not going to say it's tedious, but maybe. It's if you do this, it's so good for your rhythm. Okay, just even if you take like 2 minutes a day to set up the metronome and just run through these examples, whole note, half note, quarter note, eighth note, and your rhythm is going to be just so solid. In fact, just to wrap up this video, I'm going to go through all of these without stopping, and do the best you can to stay with me, okay? And we'll play it out with our strumming. Here we go. Starting with whole note. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whole note again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Half note. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Quarters. 1, 2, 3, 4. Eighth notes. Down. All down. Down, up. Sometimes it might feel like the metronome is slowing down on you. So that's it. Boy, if you can do that in just a little bit each day, you're well on your way to developing some nice solid rhythm that's going to help you so much with playing tunes. Okay, so thanks for watching, and have fun playing guitar, and I'll see you next time.